Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's an awful night of football. We've got the Washington football team going up against the New York Giants. That's CT from DC against King Bernard. JFace 907 on the call with Charter 04 calling it right beside with me, giving you that, what do I call it? Gosh, I can't even remember his name now. The fist pound that Gus Johnson, there we go, does to Joel Klatt before every Big Noon broadcast on Fox. But we have the opening kickoff here, which will be a touchback. With that being said, how you doing this evening, Charter?
Doing great. Just looking forward to this game. We haven't featured either one of these guys yet, I don't believe. And last cycle, I was the Cowboys, so I was in this division with them and played them quite a bit. But looking forward to seeing this matchup. I'm glad they suggested it.
Yeah, they actually stepped forward, volunteered. CT was the man that came up with the idea there, as we see Saquon Barkley getting tackled after a short gain. But, a big-time injury on the interior line of the football team. Allen going down early here. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, that's always the first play of the game, getting a key guy injured. But I guess that's the value of having depth. I don't know how much. I don't know if we're going to call them the Commodores. I mean, the Commanders, not Commodores. Actually, Commodores might be good.
Commodores or Vanderbilt, and that probably would have been better than Commanders. As we see Evan Ingram going a long way before fumbling out of bounds. That's okay. Giants keep the ball. They're inside the 32-yard line.
I mean, I think it's probably fine since I like to make fun of Washington anyway, just to go ahead and call them the Commanders. I mean, I think that's a good idea to get everybody used to it. Washington Commanders.
And we'll do it right here. We'll call them. We'll do that right here in this broadcast, even though Madden, hasn't done it yet. Wouldn't it be something if they could, patch in the whole rebrand, right here, even though technically it didn't happen for this football season that Madden 22 covers, but it would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, by the season we're in, it would already have been done. So, I mean, I think that's a good idea.
As we see White dropping back, he finds an open Barkley who doesn't get much after the catch, but it is enough for the first down. And that is a quarterback that is not Danny Dimes. King Bernard moved on from Sir Dimes rather quickly. Nick White is a star dev 24-year-old. He drafted him, I believe it was 2-3 years ago. Let's see here as they do line up in single back formation. Saquon Barkley takes the stretch handoff. He's going to get 8 or 9 yards there on first down. It's 8, setting up 2nd and 2 inside of the red zone for the Giants. But it looks like it was in the 2022, so that would have been our first draft here in the Afterwork Football League.
I need to get the rosters open up too so I can keep up.
Oh, Saquon Barkley not reading the lead block very well there. The lead blocker pushes the defender out, and that's where Saquon went, right into the tackle.
Yeah, we're looking at a 80 overall team for Washington and 79 overall team for the Giants. So pretty even matchup there.
2 tight ends out wide here. Saquon Barkley with a big-time cutback right up the middle, and he gets him inside of the 1-yard line. Looks like only about a foot to go here. Nice little cutback there by Bernard to get the first down for the Giants and get them right there knocking on the door. Something that Nick White reminded me of is that our first drafted players are now up for contract extensions. This is the first time we've got to sign contract extensions of our first-round draft picks. Are you spending any big dollars over there in KC, signing any of those rookies from the first class?
I have not yet, but when I finally get to offer them a contract, I'm about to. It's
Very
about to
nice.
kill me.
So we see Kovac there, I think that's how you pronounce that name, making a big stop. It's a no huddle there, and I think that was a spike formation, maybe trying to quickly button through the celebrations and everything. Bernard gets stuck there and cannot get out of it and had to call the timeout.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the good things about our league. Going back to the contract stuff is because we have the sim seasons, it helps us to be able to get further along into your journey, I guess you could say.
Slayton wide open in the
Nice
end
play.
zone. Yeah, what a play. He had plenty of time to go through his progressions and find Slayton. He was actually open for quite some time there, but good read by Bernard and getting it to the end zone with Slayton for the early 6. I will say something that I did not quite expect looking at the Giants roster is I did not expect Kadarius Toney to still end up being the third best receiver on this team. I thought, granted, I don't play offline, so I'm not one of those people that jump into CFM, right away as soon as the game drops in sim seasons to see how guys dev. But I would have thought that Kadarius Toney would have been in the 80s by now in season 5. SEC product, Florida there, and I know you, Charter, are a big SEC guy. Woo pig suey.
Sorry about that. I kicked myself out.
Oh, no worries there. As we see Deshaun Watson. That's right, Deshaun Watson. He was traded to the Commanders here in our file in the first season, and he completes the alert pass and 8 yards after the catch there to bring up 2nd and 2. I was just mentioning.
I was saying some good stuff. And I didn't even realize nobody could hear me.
Did you catch my woo pig suey there that I dropped out? It felt dirty coming out of my mouth.
No, I didn't catch that either.
I was talking about Kadarius Toney still only being a 79 and how I expected a little bit more out of him, in a video game where he comes in as a relatively high ceiling player. But I don't know if it was just the Madden gods or just maybe King Bernard not deving him on a focus level, but I just thought he would have been higher, and I said he was an SEC product and then shouted out Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he might have been normal dev. I'm not really sure, but sometimes if that's the case, and then if you don't throw to them a whole lot and they don't get the extra stats dev or, get the whatever those statistics are that you can get your dev level up. Maybe he never did that, but yeah, I'm surprised you wouldn't really try to go to a guy like that. But he had some other good receivers, I think, the first couple of years.
2nd and 3 here as we see a big formation out of the Commanders, 3 tight ends. And it looks like Watson does have some time, and he hits Gills. He's wearing number 13. Is that actually a tight end? I just noticed that. But he had his hand in the dirt. And yes, J.D. Gills, he is a tight end wearing a skill position. Granted, tight end technically is a skill position, but wearing a receiver's number 13. I'll know not to judge a by its cover ever again.
Yeah. You got to love the number 13 as a tight end. That's always a fun look, and I'm sure you're a little bit of a traditionalist like me that isn't a great fan of it.
Very much so, as we see Antonio Gibson getting along there, and he gets a big chunky yards, putting the football team, we're going to do this right, the Commanders inside of the 5-yard line. Did you have a favorite out of their finalists' names when it came to the Commanders? I personally liked the Hogs.
Yeah, was it going to be Wild Hogs or just Hogs, or I couldn't remember if they had a certain one they were going with, but I can't remember all the other ones, but I definitely didn't care for Commanders over any of the choices.
I would have taken football team back over Commanders as we see Deshaun Watson hit Brown in the flat for the touchdown. Extra point is good. We are tied at 7 apiece, just inside of 5.5, or just outside, I should say, of 5.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. But yeah, Hogs was my favorite. I kind of wish they would have given Red Tails more serious consideration. Especially, I actually was going through my Google Cloud photo storage just the other day, and I saw the red tail uniform that Army used in one of the Army-Navy games, and I was just like, oh man, if Washington had utilized anything off of that, that would have just been epic. But, it is the Snyder family, and they like to just mess stuff up.
Yeah, the red tails. I actually liked Red Wolves, I think, was one of the ones they were looking at, maybe, possibly. Was that?
Of course,
one?
you would. That's a college mascot, popular college mascot, and in
Arkansas
Arkansas State.
Yeah. And what's interesting about that Arkansas State, were the Indians, and so they were doing the same thing. They had changed their branding from that to a different mascot and chose Red Wolves, and so I feel like they did it the right way and chose an actual good one.
I have to admit, the speaking of Indians, the Cleveland Indians going to the Guardians now looks much better than it ever did before with what the Commanders did with their stuff. So thank you again, Snyder family, for messing this up so epically.
Yeah, even that Guardians. I mean, it just that would have been better, but just the choice they made, it was a very which it's like a lot of things, and however much time we go, it'll just be normal 5 years from now.
Right, yeah, it'll
But
just be in our routine as we see White throwing the ball backwards. Actually, no, that was not a backwards pass. He just happened to put it right off somebody's helmet that was in his face, so it goes down as an incompletion. 4th and 1 for the G-men.
but I'm like other people have said, I actually had gotten used to football team and didn't mind it.
I did not mind football team one bit. I would have been quite okay if they would have kept football team. I also like the look of the football team. I like the numbered, no logo, just the number on the helmet. I thought they had actually done really good things with that. I like the crest of the football team. Hate the crest of the Commanders, but just it seemed like everything went well for the football team, and just total opposite for the Commanders. Total opposite. Chat, let us know how you felt about the rebrand of the Washington football team to the Commanders, as we see a little double juke there out of Antonio Gibson. Doesn't get him really anywhere, but hey, I can't pull those off with my stick skills, so kudos to CT there.
But just looking at the uniforms now, I mean, it's a good look, and I agree with you about the crest. And I don't know if they're going to keep it this way, but one of the things that I didn't like about the new crest is they had the Super Bowl dates. The year they
The
actually
years
won
that
the
they were
game.
actually played. Yeah, the years that the games
Nobody
were
does
made.
that.
No.
Because it's so confusing, because everybody thinks of, you go back to the 90s or whatever, in 88, it's like, well, 1988, that would have been I believe, San Francisco won the 88 season Super Bowl. And then 1992, the Cowboys won that season Super Bowl. And everybody uses the season of when you won it.
Yep.
And then their crest at 88, 92, and then it's like, wait, they didn't win it in those those years. And it just becomes like makes perfect sense that they would choose to do something that nobody else does whenever they chose the Commanders. So.
Right. I mean, it's the Snyder family to a T, really. That's I mean, and then the uniforms. I mean, the 3 different, NFL, really sports, with the exception of soccer. Soccer is its own beast with this, but they all kind of have like a template of their uniform, and then we'll flip the colors around, for home and away. Not the Commanders. They have 3 extremely different jerseys that feature extremely different features in every one, including probably the worst looking helmet I've ever seen in their black jersey. That is the worst looking helmet I have ever seen. As we see Anderson juking some folks out of their underwear there. Big run on the jet sweep for the Commanders. I believe that's Robbie Anderson, if I am not mistaken. Still with the speed in his 30s in our file.
Okay, here's a question for you about the uniforms. Was G Money involved in the uniform?
Has to be.
Selection?
Has to be. I know they said it was Mrs. Snyder and her fashion design background, but she absolutely got G Money on the phone for consulting purposes. No other way to describe that one. Antonio Gibson takes that shotgun kick.
I thought you might have been referencing the Arkansas basketball game that's going on right now that I've been watching against number 1 Auburn.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say they're going up against number 1. It did another number 1 fall. It's been like 6 of them already this year.
It's possible. 16 seconds left in overtime. Arkansas is up 79-76. So.
Ooh, pig suey. I'll say it for real that time as we see a not shotgun, but a play action pass here, and Deshaun Watson's making some moves. He's going to get the first down. Oh, no, he's not. They spot him short. That's what I get for assuming things. I thought for sure he put that ball
route open on the corner route there, or the crosser had gotten open.
It wasn't a shotgun crosser though, so he didn't see it, obviously.
Yeah.
Only shotgun crossers are, where we actually see those wide open guys.
Yeah.
Bolton comes on the blitz and he misses. That was Antonio Gibson there. He is able to skate on through the line of scrimmage, getting himself about 5 yards for the Commander first down.
Yeah, he did a good job of shooting the gap there. That's sometimes what you want to do to get that tackle for loss, but just barely missed him there.
We are finished with the first quarter here. It is still a 7-7 ball game, but the Commanders are knocking on the door just outside of the 10-yard line and a fresh set of downs. Now, I haven't asked you this. Took me a whole quarter to ask, but what you sipping on?
I tried your suggestion and went with the old-fashioned with my red-eye rye. It's got the coffee-infused whiskey in it, and it's really good.
Nice.
I'm glad you suggested it.
Very nice.
How about yourself?
I am going with an old-fashioned. I'm going with a bourbon old-fashioned, much like I did for my game broadcast that I did when I played Helu and his Seahawks. But, bourbon old-fashioned.
Well, it wouldn't be right for me to not have something called an old-fashioned and the whole time we're doing this. I mean, being old-fashioned myself.
Well, and I finished the bottle, and I didn't actually give it a shout out last week when we broadcasted. But my rye whiskey that I used last week was Old Overholt, and anybody that's in our Discord saw in our booze channel that I poked fun at you, saying that it was you featured on the bottle because it is quite an old man that is featured on the Old Overholt bottle.
It was basically actually how old I am and then how old of a soul you are.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect fit there. As Deshaun Watson just ran out of time there. He had an open receiver, but got hit right as he threw there. It's 3rd and 12 from the 12. Sorry if you were looking at me in the camera there, folks, as I am fighting off a sneeze in the worst way. But, and I successfully did fight it off. Must only be a couple feet there between the first down marker and the goal line, because technically CT can get a first down here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do my best to actually kind of pay more attention and react to the actual game a little more from here on out.
Shotgun formation.
We
Deshaun Watson loses the football, but Rankin picks it up and he takes it about 5 yards there. Oh, and then takes a big old licking. That was not that was possibly catastrophe for the Commanders there, but they do hold on to the ball and will settle for 3 points, or at least an attempt at 3 points here.
And I was hoping we would see a big boy touchdown.
That would have been epic. Something we have not seen in any of our streams yet is a big boy touchdown. Still have been deprived of that, as the kick is good. 10-7 Commanders out in front. Nelly in the chat says, BR gave Charter an old-fashioned beating earlier today. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it that. Went to overtime and lost in overtime. I guess that's considered still a beating. But I thought it was a pretty good.
It was a pretty good game.
Pretty good close game. Yeah. That's usually the way the games between me and him usually go. It's rare for anybody to get blown out. Like, it's typically usually a close game, comes down to a mistake or two at the very end, and so that's usually the way I like the games to go down.
Slayton there on a bit of a wheel route from, what was he, lined up in like a slot position? No, he was on the outside, but it was a tight formation. But he was still wide open there, getting the Giants enough for the first down. Something that we've noticed across the league here is some high scores. I'm kind of hoping that Awful Night maybe follows that trend, because we've had some defensive showdowns lately.
Yeah, and I figured with this matchup we would have a high-scoring game. We still have plenty of time for it to be one, but KB is usually pretty big on getting a lot of offense going.
Sterling
for the
Shepard.
Other team or himself.
Right. Usually there's a lot of points, and sometimes it's defenses scoring points in his matchups. But Sterling Shepard takes that, and he breaks the first tackle, gets a first down there on the inside of their own 43-yard line, but they are moving. Let's see, trips formation here with the tight end in the bunch. White is under center. Fake handoff to Saquon Barkley, and he's got plenty of time, but he throws it right on cue to the defense, and it is going to be not a pick six. Nick White makes the tackle at the 2-yard line. Man, were we the Nostra awful night of football Damas? I mean, what in the world?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or a jinx, but which, I mean, you can usually, except for against me, I don't think he threw any picks, but it's only a matter of time before something like that's going to happen in most of these games.
And even though it wasn't a pick six, the very next play is a Commanders touchdown. They go up front 2 scores with the chance to make it an even 10 here with the extra point.
And that was one of those plays you could tell he expected the cornerback, which he wasn't really looking at the cornerback enough to keep going back and have that out route open, but he just set right on it. And, it's just one of those things where after the fact, you know what you did, but it's too late.
Too late to apologize, as the old One Republic song said. As we now have a touchback here. KB's got to reset his mind. This game is far from over. Just don't do it again, essentially, is what you're looking at here.
Yeah. Oh, he seems like the kind of player that has no conscience. If he throws a pick, he has no problem with the next play and just moving on and forgetting it.
As he does hand it off on the first play of this drive, gets about 4 yards with Saquon Barkley. Saw someone come into frame there that we have not called their number all game yet, and that's Chase Young. He is definitely a difference maker on the outside, but in the world of the Afterwork Football League and in Madden in general, the pressure really comes from the interior, the user interior.
Yeah, there's a few guys that have gotten better at finding a way to get those outside guys more pressure, either by using them or sometimes you'll rush to the outside, select that. But, yeah, most of the time those interior pressure guys are the ones that get it, which, he could switch Chase Young into the inside and try to get some that way.
Yeah, as we see Saquon Barkley breaking off a big run, and we see a little bit of lag here right at the end of the play. Man, hopefully we don't see a restart, because we see plenty of those towards the end of our advanced weeks, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know if we've had one of those yet.
We have not. Knock on wood.
Yes. Oh man, I just ruined it.
You did. Saquon Barkley takes the handoff to the outside. Ooh, instead of trying to make Kyle Fuller, or is that Kendall? I can never keep those two straight. Instead of making Fuller miss on the outside, he tries to run around him. That does not work out. He gets tackled, and it's only a gain of 2. Call me crazy, but if I've got Saquon, I'm trying to run him over.
Yeah. I know this isn't a college football broadcast, but Woo Pig Suey. They
pulled it off. Number 1 goes down. Nick White with an errant throw there, but probably for the better, as that was the only chance that it was going to fall to the turf safely over everybody's head.
And it definitely was an upset, but Arkansas has won 8 in a row, and they usually sell out their stadium of 20-something thousand people. So it's not as if they're just not a normal, traditionally pretty good team. And being at home, I figured they would have a chance.
We see P.I. there on the catch.
Pass interference.
Yeah, but it ended up being a catch and run that went further than the P.I. did, so that was declined. But I sense you're trying to go a little bit humble on the Arkansas basketball program a little bit there. Didn't they make a deep tournament run just recently?
Yeah, they went to the Elite 8 this past tournament.
As we see Fuller jumping in front of that route, but dropping the pick.
Not like it was in the 90s, but that's kind of the way it is with all my favorite teams. The 90s was the time, I guess.
90s was the time.
Yeah, that was very close to being a pick. Giants are fortunate that wasn't picked off.
Ooh, as we see CT take control of Chase Young there with a speed move, and Nick White had to get rid of that one quickly. It does get about 9.5 yards. Yeah, he must be listening to us. By the way, I got to give a shout out to CT for that. Thank you, sir, for the subscription. Not a follow, but a subscription. Thank you so much there for that. Do appreciate the love.
That's one stat I wish, like they have a place for it in the next gen stats column, and hopefully next year they'll actually fill that in. But I wish there was a hurries and quarterback knockdown statistic. Oh, that was a nice play in there.
Yeah, little cover zero blitz there, and Darius Slayton. There was a Steve Slayton. I can't remember. Was he a receiver too?
Yeah,
but
he was a running back.
Running back, yes, that's right, from Washington or West Virginia. But he takes it to the house for a touchdown. Yeah, Texans. I remember playing one of the NCAAs with Pat White and Steve Slayton just.
Oh man,
it was
killing it with the read option.
Yep, it was that wide open gameplay promoted NCAA where you could pretty much just run back and forth until you found a hole and just go the distance.
Was that back in the PlayStation 2 days, or was it?
I feel like it was 360, PlayStation 3, which would have been like in one of the early editions of the game, or excuse me, one of the early editions of the game on that console generation. Yeah. So like 08, 09. Because 07 was the first one. 07 was the first one on the 360 PS3.
Yeah, I think 07 was the one that had the Boise State quarterback on the front, wasn't it?
I do believe you are correct, with the cut scenes as they were coming up to the line of scrimmage where they zoomed in on them all tight. As we see Antonio Gibson making the catch, he's going to get close to midfield there on the 46-yard line. Deshaun Watson, 5 of 6 early, and he's having a nice little game. He did have that fumble, but luckily his teammate jumped on it. But having a good first half so far.
Yeah, he's doing a good job taking care of the ball, not throwing any interceptions or anything, except for that one fumble, like you said. But overall, they're
late flag comes in here after Antonio Gibson, but blocking the back. I think I.
Oh man.
I have a delayed version of the stream on one of my here, and yeah, right at the end of the play, for no reason really whatsoever, Robbie Anderson pushes somebody in the back.
At least you still got the first down, so it's still 1st and 10. But yeah, you hate to have that happen.
But that is actually something that CT has benefited from, and that nice pass to scary Terry McLaurin there, as he's going to get first down yardage. But he's actually had quite a successful day on the ground with Antonio Gibson thus far.
Yeah, that always helps when you can get the running game going good. And I thought that pass was going to be off just a little bit, but it was nice little, dropped it in there.
Ooh, nice little user rush defense there by KB as he does make the stop actually behind the line of scrimmage. I thought that was going to be a no-gainer, but that was behind the line of scrimmage. He got some, CT got some push, but nice little read and fill user style out of KB.
Yeah, if he just can take care of the ball and make sure you get a score. But I think at this point you really, I know you're trying to get any points, but I think getting a touchdown would be really important here to go up 24-14 at the half. And I don't remember who got the ball first.
You took my line, gosh darn it. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because 20-14, it's good. You got points, but it's always my least, that's always my hated, dreaded. Being up by 6 is just such a thing, just such a pain, because you know that 7 point where you're going to be down by 1 is going to come up.
I totally agree with you there. But so my goal right here, if I'm CT, he's kind of dancing in the pocket there. Oh, he was looking for the wheel route from Jump Street. That's what that was. Is Deshaun Watson shrugging off tacklers, gets out of bounds there after a gain of about 4. But I think if he actually would have stuck with that rollout, I think that man coming across the middle, or even the late release in the flat, was there for him, but it was quite clear that he had the wheel 100% locked in.
Yeah, and, I don't understand why guys do that, because it throws your timing off so much, and then it doesn't give you a chance to scramble if you're already rolling out and nobody's open, and it just really usually never works when you do that.
Yeah. Double move there, a little slant and go, or they call it a spot and go on the play call. But Robbie Anderson gets inside of the 5-yard line. And what I was going to say about my strategy here is I actually want to close the half with the football. Whether I'm scoring with a field goal or scoring with a touchdown, I just want to make sure I'm the last one that has a chance with the ball.
Yeah, like try to run the ball a little bit, run some clock down. Would always be good. Be a good idea.
But it's not gonna happen. Antonio Gibson walks butt naked into the end zone. So, but hey, it's a touchdown at least.
I would rather get that. Yeah, I would rather get the touchdown than fool around, try to run the clock, and then you mess around and have to settle for a field goal. So I mean, if you got a chance to score a touchdown, you got to take it.
Oh, we're gonna have a missed extra point here. It's a right off of the upright. So it's going to be a 9-point game. Now, CT subscribes to the same theory that I do, that you get a little bit more grace when you, I guess you could say, pull back a little bit on your kick where you're not going full power, but still just did not get the accuracy he needed to on the meter.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's because I relax so much more on extra points or whatever it is, and maybe that's what other people do, but I've seen way more extra point misses than I do field goal misses. Like, it seems like you get done with your score, you're used to them being kind of automatic, and then that's where you kind of let off your guard, don't focus enough, and miss the extra points.
I think what it is we see Allen going down again. He was able to return to the game, but he's going out again. I think it's just a matter of you're just so used to it being just a gimme that you're not even really looking at the meter, at the wind, or anything. You just try and hit your kick. And if you're off, like CT was there, because we're piggybacking off his stream. If you're off, if there is wind, it's gonna impact your kick as it did his. And speaking of what a nice little breakup there in man-on-man coverage, single coverage on the outside. KB thought he could take a chance there with Nick White, but the coverage is there to make the play.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to be one of those. You get the guy beat deep and get a deep touchdown at first.
Oh, my goodness. It's an abdominal tear for Allen. He's not going to be back anytime soon.
Boy.
I think that's at least a 4-weeker. But, man, not what CT needed. But what he did need, and he got right there, a little possession catch sideline failure, which that's become a theme here in the Afterwork Football League. Oh, if you have not seen... Actually, you know what? We're about to hit halftime. If we have a break in the action, I am going to show the epic possession catch fail that the Afterwork Football League featured just earlier this week. That is quite hilarious. I hope I can show it. But CT's going to run the ball.
You're talking about the Shook one, right?
I'm talking about Shucky Ducky.
Yeah, Shook. I don't know why. I guess I hear the name said out loud sometimes. I don't know how to say it.
I mean, that clip had us shook.
Yeah, that was just a unbelievably entertaining meltdown.
Speaking of meltdowns, that was not the most intelligent of throws out of CT there. After playing a relatively clean half, there were 3 different people who could have caught that ball, but it does fall harmlessly to the turf. It's 3rd and 9. KB does have 2 timeouts left, so I'm pretty positive that if he has a chance to stop CT here, he's going to call one of those timeouts.
I'm all for staying aggressive, but man, sometimes with this little time left, you got to just accept your good first half you had, and not because see now he didn't have to call timeout.
No,
now he's got 2 timeouts, get the ball back 23 seconds, and he's going to be aggressive and try to get the ball down the field.
Just one of those things where the pressure came in. I do like the play call. A screen there, you're kind of, just hoping for a good thing. It's a safe play, but I think I would have gone with a receiver screen or like maybe a handoff with an alert action on it. But
or even a draw play sometimes can be good in those kind of situations where nobody's expecting you to run up the middle. But yeah, man, he got it was an unfortunate screen where the running back kind of got tied up, like we talked about last broadcast, of just how great. And I wish I could go in and actually chart some of these in practice mode, because there are some screens that just work better than others. It could look exactly the same on the play art, and just for some reason it just doesn't work right. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that falls harmlessly to the turf. There are 3 Commanders there around the Giants receiver. Granted, the Giants receiver did have a little bit of box out, going on there, but still just a little risky there to end the half. But this is Hail Mary time. Inside of 5 seconds left. They're about at midfield, about the 47-yard line. Nick White's going to cock back and throw this one, assuming he has enough time. Yeah, he called the sideline. What do you want to? I can't even remember what it's called, but he called the sideline version of the Hail Mary, where it essentially tries to set you up for another play thereafter. But there was just no time for that.
Yeah, the quarterback White with the luscious locks.
There's a lot of luscious locks going on for the Giants. I don't know if you saw that punter earlier in the game, but he's got it going on too.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just random. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if KB somehow figured out a way to draft a guy just based on his hair.
See, even this kicker for the Giants, I'm imagining that's the punter, but that's those are some luscious locks out there.
Yeah, it's like everybody's got the Troy Polamalu hairstyle if you have long hair.
Well, yeah, we had made that comment in a previous broadcast about how that's how Madden does it. Everybody who's long-haired has the Troy Polamalu hair. There's no straight long hair or anything like that. It all looks like Troy P.
And they could make it look different because Trevor Lawrence has straight long hair on the game because they custom made it.
Yeah.
They have the ability to do it.
Sunshine, sunshine. Remember the Titans. Great movie. And I always think about it when I watch Trevor Lawrence play.
He definitely is sunshine. I mean, if this guy had blonde hair, he could be sunshine.
He could. I formation here with twins left for the Commanders. Gibson goes strong side. Had another remember the Titans moment there. Strong side, left side. But it's going to set up 3rd and 2 for the Commanders.
Yeah, other than just the typical Madden stuff, the run game this cycle has been really balanced. I feel like there has not been a bunch of overpowered running the ball kind of stuff. Outside zone sometimes can be, but they were right there on it. I don't know if he blitzed both them guys or what, but they were there.
Yeah, both him using Bolton and the other inside linebacker right there to fill the hole. That goes nowhere for the Commanders, and that's going to set up this punt here. So we see Jackson field it cleanly, and he's got some room. He gets about 10 yards on that return there. Setting up,
I mean,
I don't know.
10 yards is a long return for if you've noticed, punt returners, it's like the league leaders will be like 5 yards a return.
Have we had a punt return for a touchdown in a user season yet? I don't believe we had.
Yeah, I don't know of one. I mean, there's been the occasional kick return for a touchdown, but I don't know of any punt return touchdowns.
I feel like if you're going to do a punt return for a touchdown, you have to put it on that sky cam view and then be willing to kind of just bounce back and forth. Dante Hall style.
That's the only way. Because everybody punts to the sideline for the most part, so you don't have a good spot to return it, and nobody blocks.
Nobody blocks.
Like you catch the ball, and you'll have 3 guys in front of you, your own players, one of their guys, and they just let the guy run by after you catch it. It's like, why are you not even trying to block at all? There's no trying to set up any kind of return or nothing. There's no ability to. It's all got to be on the user stick skills.
Oh, man, we see a quick 3 and out of the Giants there. I was wondering if maybe he would hit the flat and use Shepard as a blocker, but he does go to Shepard, gets hit right as he makes contact with the football, and the ball does fall to the turf. 3 and out for the Giants here as we see another punt, and this one, I mean, he actually got one of the gunners to block for him there. Sadly, the gunner on the other side does nothing, as we have said, and only gets about 4 yards on the return there. Something I was going to say about it, but have you seen where whether you user it or it's AI, but if your outside man is literally doing nothing, he actually blocks the gunner on the opposing side much better than he would if he was actually trying to engage at a block, because it's like a screen, in basketball. He just stands there and sets a screen.
Like he accidentally blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I haven't noticed it, but it doesn't surprise me with this game.
Ooh, a little, maybe a one-step drop back, two-step drop back there from Deshaun Watson, and he hits Jarvis Landry outside on the flats there, and that's a first down. Gets 7 yards on his first catch of the game.
Special teams is definitely an area that not much effort goes into, I don't think, as far as updating and making any
Unless it's a
kind of
year where they want
adjustment.
to put in all the special teams trick plays, which I can't remember if that was
Yeah, I guess,
NCAA or
yeah.
Madden, where they put in all those special team trick plays, and not a dang one of them worked.
Or the year that they did the timing, which is still in the game, but the timing try to block an extra point or punt kind of thing. That's
Is
the
it still
only
there
time.
as far as timing, or is it ratings based now, and like whether or not you're, as we see an interception? Oh man, that's a throw you probably got to throw much earlier if you want to hit that, because McKinney is able to just come over the middle and pick that off, returning it inside of the Commanders' 27-yard line. But I feel like it's tied to ratings, and then where the user hits it on the accuracy meter. Like if they
Yeah,
hit it
that
on
might
the,
be it.
yeah, if they hit an inaccurate kick, your like window opens up larger.
Yeah. And it seems like, when I try to block ones, it seems pretty random as far as like when you get the animation where you have a chance at least to try to block the kick
Yeah.
where the it's kind of like the kicker hesitates for a second and your guy comes flying in, and I don't think that there's any skill involved in that. I think it's just random at
Excuse
this
me,
point.
sir. You saw my extra, or not extra point, but my field goal, my walk-off field goal block. You saw that. I
Well,
know you did.
that time it was skill. Oh no, we got an injury to another defensive lineman, Chase Young.
Oh, that's not good. But Washington still, year 5 of our file, still extremely deep at defensive line. That's one thing about, if you're taking control of the Commanders in any kind of, as we say, oh, bruise ribs, he can come back. But if you're taking control of Washington in any franchise mode, that defensive line is stacked.
Yeah, and if only I've been fighting for it in our. Now I don't know how much they listen, but in the little Discord chat I'm in with some of the devs and stuff where we
Ooh,
actually
sorry to
test
interrupt
out
you
the
real quick,
game.
Charter, but
Oh,
we do have a touchdown.
no
Sterling
problem.
Shepard there over the middle, bringing the Giants right back into this game. They could be within 2 after this extra point. I'll give
Doing
you
a
the
little
floor
dance.
back.
Yeah, well, I've been fighting for an improved pass rush because that's something that we've actually currently been talking about, trying to get that. And I don't know why it's not, but trying to get that to their attention. That at least in all Madden Sim mode, you have a realistic pass rush, because that would fix so many things. To have crossers not so easy, because the reason why they're so easy to complete is because when you can have 3 seconds or more to pass, then they're going to get open. That would be that way in real life. If a real quarterback had that much time, something's going to get open.
Exactly.
And so it's just the edge rushers, especially, like they just need to have more of an urgency. And when guys drop back 10 yards, the edge rushers should be on them, because they would be coming to the outside. And in real life, if you don't step up into the pocket that's trying to be made, the edge rushers are coming around and they're going to get you easy. And
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't happen in Madden. They go into those patty cake animations where the timer starts based on ratings, but that's just not how pass rush works in real life. And they've got to make some adjustments to, and since actual competitive players are complaining about how bad defense is, maybe something will get done. since they seem to be the ones I listen to more than sim players.
Well, I mean, that's the stuff that they put on ESPN and Twitch and everything else. They put the competitive players on there, as we see a nice little chunk play to J.D. Gills, the man who I thought was a receiver with his number, but is actually a tight end, and setting up the Commanders for a quick response here potentially. Ooh, what a shed there by Leonard Williams. Ooh, the man who refuses to
Nice
leave
play.
to leave the New York market, getting a big shed and tackle for loss, and that was all AI. So clearly, AI can do some shedding on the run defense. They probably should do it on the pass defense too.
Definitely. And one of the things I thought was interesting that Clint Oldenburg shared on Twitter, which everybody just
Hey,
tore him
Charter,
up
Charter,
about.
you dropped a name there. Can you pick that up for me?
This was on Twitter. It wasn't like anybody. It wasn't like I know him or anything
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
He shared on Twitter, and it was so ridiculous. Like he said that right now their data or whatever they use, it tracks all the games that they have, and I don't know. Really, they don't use like all the little versus the computer games. I don't know how much they go into it, but definitely like user versus user, head to head, regular teams games. Said that their points per game was 24.7, and that's right along with pretty close to the NFL average. And everybody was like, "What are you talking about? It's 5-minute quarters versus 15-minute quarters. That's not
Yeah.
good at all."
Oh my goodness, what a catch by Robbie Anderson.
Wow.
Oh, you don't often see a 3-tipped ball caught. Usually that's, you just count it up as just crazy tip action, but it is actually caught in the end. Oh man, KB has got to be tilting at that.
And then he had the little still hitting the Y button, going for the hurdle afterward.
At least you know your opponent was trying to catch that when you see them do the hurdle right after they catch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious that he tried to compare a 5-minute quarter game to a 15-minute quarter game and say the points per game were similar. I'm just like, what
I
are you
got
talking about?
24.5 points per game in my game that I only got to run 10 offensive plays. It checks. It checks.
And everybody was like, I mean, how about yards per play? How about we look at that? Because I
Right.
guarantee you the yards per play is going to be hugely more than real life. And I mean, anyway, I don't know what the reason for that trying to get that information out there was, but it did not go as he had planned.
Oh my gosh. That is probably the most accurate crossbody pass I have ever seen during our broadcast. NB, not Bay. Wish.com, whatever it was. Warren, if you are watching that, Dollar General Warren, if you are watching that, this is how you do a crossbody pass. That was insane by Deshaun Watson there.
And when you look at I know the animation doesn't matter because it's not like it's actually using their real throwing motion or anything, but he was still running forward and then just flicked it
Like a little,
almost
just,
like a Patrick Mahomes
yeah, just
kind
a
of
little Patrick
throw.
Mahomes little flip. Yeah.
But it had like the same arm strength as if he like really set his feet and got into it. That's pretty.
KB out here with 2 tilt-worthy plays in the same drive. For shame.
I mean, it's pretty realistic. 30-21.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes left in the third quarter.
This is
But hey,
this is realistic football right here.
yeah, we're finally getting a high scoring game. I mean, I feel like we're on our way to final score being in the 40s. Whoever wins.
We are on our way as we see a chunk play right away out of the Giants. So clearly the action is not stopping. Buckle in, folks. This is some Fast and Furious type mess, as it is shotgun formation here for Nick White. He hands it off to Saquon Barkley, doing a little bit of dancing in the hole here. He gets about 6 yards. They give him 5, but it was a lot of dancing in the hole. I just prefer to go straight in. I don't do too much dancing in or around the hole, but teach their own.
Well, there's no reason to get fancy. I mean, it's always better just to get the job done, I say.
Yeah, exactly. As we see Nick White dropping back, and he's got Slayton crossing over the middle there. Again, trying to outrun people to the sideline. Doesn't quite get there. He gets wrapped up, and he still gets a first down. Another chunk play for the Giants. So I think some points are coming here, Charter. I think some points are coming for the Giants.
Yeah, we're not anywhere close to being finished. Like I'm predicting that whoever wins this game's going to have over 40 points. That's my prediction.
We see like a 9-man box here for the Commanders while the Giants are in shotgun. But everybody drops back, and that was an interception waiting to happen, but it is just a SWAT. A SWAT animation comes out, ball falls harmlessly to the turf. CT, I know you're not, crazy big on switching, but that's a switch Y right there, my friend.
Yeah, that's always one of those. You're glad to get the incomplete, but when the guy's right there, and I don't know why the computer doesn't try to go for a pick there. Like, it's so weird that they go for the SWAT.
8 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, and Nick White drops back and hits an open Slayton on the corner route there, putting the Giants inside of the 16-yard line. Clock's going to run out here. That'll be the end of the third quarter as soon as these fellas break the huddle. There it is. We're heading into the fourth quarter with a 9-point ball game. This game is far from over, folks. It is the Commanders 30, the Giants 21. The Giants are inside of the red zone.
I don't have the stats in front of me at all, but I did see that the Giants quarterback only has 1 pick, and I believe Deshaun Watson only has 1 interception, if I remember correctly. So overall, both these guys have taken care of the ball really well, and that's what you like to see.
We see a tight end sweep here as Evan Ingram takes the handoff, and he gets 5 yards. It's not called often. Oh, actually, that wasn't even a tight end sweep. That was a jet sweep that he chose to run with Evan Ingram. Granted, there is a tight end sweep in select playbooks in this game, but that was the straight up jet sweep. Interesting strategy there out of KB.
Yeah, I mean, it's Evan Ingram. If you just hand the ball right to him, he won't drop it. So I think that sometimes that's a good way to make sure he's not going to drop the ball.
I feel like that's some reality meet. What is that saying? When reality meets storyline or whatever? Because I feel like that's something from the real Evan Ingram that you're speaking on there.
Yeah, he definitely has he'll catch. Oh,
Sterling Shepard over the middle there. Yeah, gets a big old block there, almost like a crackback style there. I think he would have gotten in the end zone either way, but still, let's see. Saquon delivers it, takes out 2 dudes.
Man.
Yeah. That was impressive.
Nice when you can get 2 guys blocked by one guy like that.
Ooh, I thought we were actually going to see a potential block there because the right side of the line just kind of like stood up and didn't do anything, but it looked like CT had the the block called from the left side. So I don't know. It looked like a weird extra point for whatever reason.
But yeah, in real life, Evan Ingram's one of those guys that'll catch a spectacular catch and then drop one right to him.
That sounds like a tight end out of Cleveland by the name of David Njoku. But at least Njoku blocks.
Similar.
I don't think Evan Ingram ever blocks.
No, he's not. He's definitely not any kind of blocking tight end at all.
Antonio Gibson cuts back into the hole, makes a nice little 3-yard gain. Unfortunately, got clipped in the ankles by Barnett there. He probably could have gone for about another 5 yards if he had, gone through a little bit stronger through the hole.
Yeah, that's always a frustrating thing when you have a nice little hole open up for you. And
oh my gosh, that was right to Love. Oh, he was going for Jarvis Landry on the crosser. Probably about yes, we see his stream and we see he got an inaccurate pass for whatever reason. But that throw was late regardless.
Yeah.
Wow, just right to Love.
And Love was breaking down right there in the flats anyway. Like he was coming down going to be in position for the pick no matter what it looked like.
Yeah, Julian Love is who that was. A 77 rated corner, and I believe this is a drafted or an AI. Or no, he is actually a real life individual. I'm looking at his picture now, Julian Love. Ooh, that's a nicely set up screen. Unfortunately, though, Doesn't quite get as much yardage as as you would expect. Gets about 5 yards.
But still, I mean, that's really as that was an actual look at a successful screen overall.
Yeah.
Like when it actually gets set up good. It's kind of rare to see.
Yeah, the lineman didn't dart right inside after the throw was made or anything. It set up nicely.
And that's what's so frustrating sometimes about this game is the reason why we keep coming back. Well, first of all, we just enjoy being in a league, but Madden does just enough good to where you can see the potential and you feel like if they could just harness those good things and make all of it good, but then you have too much crappy stuff.
Yeah.
Get thrown in there.
And
but,
we're reminded of it every time an
times.
update comes out. Every time a title update or a patch comes out, we're reminded of it. Like, this was really working well. Title update comes out. Oh, you done broke this.
But I mean, there are times where the game plays well.
And just like that, the G-Men take. Is this their first lead of the game? It's definitely, if it's not their first, it's their first in many, many minutes. But they do hop out in front here. Extra point pending, will be a 5-point game.
I think their quarterback has 4, possibly. I know he's at least got 4 touchdown passes.
I believe that is correct. 4 touchdown passes. And yes, this is their first lead of the game.
I think that might have been his 5th touchdown pass, actually, now that I think about it.
I figured I was safe with it saying at least 4.
But like I said, I mean, we've still got 7:42 left, and
someone still has to break 40. We're not getting out of here without someone breaking 40. This has become a first to 40 football game as we see the Shakies coming out for the Commanders. Respect to CT for keeping the Shakies on.
Yeah, and
ooh, Russell gets blocks set up nicely there, and oh, JD throwing just a shoulder at Horn. If he had attempted to lock that block up any better, that's probably a house call.
But look at that, the way it was set up. The fullback actually did his job, unlike most times. And it's just, I mean, you see that and you're like, why can't this be the way the AI plays all the time? But,
Oh, no, that's about a half second too late. Almost paid for it there. Man, that ball popped up into the air, and I thought for sure that other defender didn't quite catch who that was, but I thought he was going to come in there and pick that off, but just a half second too late on that throw.
And if that receiver would have stayed just going straight down the field instead of curving inside, he would have been way more open.
And I think that was probably the timing mechanism of it. But nice, wide open Robbie Anderson there. He's having a big game. That's his 3rd catch for 82 yards. I thought he'd been more involved, but I guess, when you have that memorable tip drill catch there, you just stand out.
Well, he also had a nice block in the back. You might be remembering that.
True that. He did have that. So we see shotgun here. Four men out wide for the football team, for the Commanders. Oh, no. KB gets hit with the unfortunate switch tackle, and it sets up Gibson to go butt naked into the end zone. Oh, man.
It wouldn't be a KB game without some wild diving, just whiffs. Here's another one at the end.
I will tell you, though, you say that like he's a pro at that, but at the same time, that is one thing Madden has never gotten right, and that's the player switch mechanic. Yeah. That has always been broken.
Now, I'm sure that's what got him, but I want to make it in my own fantasy world that it was all his fault.
Ooh, look at that. Deshaun Watson hits Jarvis Landry. He ran a corner route there and was just pretty much sitting there wide open at the pylon. CT didn't see him didn't see him until late, but luckily he was still so open that it didn't matter, and that makes this a 3-point ball game. 38-35 Commanders.
And it was nice that it worked out that way, because how many times do you have that guy wide open in the back of the end zone, and then your quarterback leads the pass right to a defender, or just something weird will happen. And you're just like, why didn't you just throw it to the guy standing there wide open just by himself? And so it's good that he actually did the smart thing and threw it to the wide open guy without messing it up somehow.
We see Evan Ingram. Oh, curl with the pick there. I actually am shocked. I'm shocked that CT was able to get over to curl to make that interception because, again, I mentioned how broken the switch mechanism is. I thought for sure it was going to put him on the linebacker, but it put him to curl, and he made the pick, made the play.
He was listening.
Yeah.
Not switching.
Commanders are right back in scoring position here now when really they're going to be running the 4-minute drill as well, so we'll see how much time they can take off while getting some points added on to this.
Yeah, and if you're the Commanders, you definitely want to get some points out of this, because after a turnover, you're already down at the 44. You don't want to mess around and go 3 and out or something, or turn it over. So definitely got to take care of business here.
Shotgun formation, and Watson takes the snap. He drops back and hits Antonio Gibson in the flat. That's going to get about 5 yards there. Definitely putting them in long field goal range. Didn't quite catch the wind for this game. I do know that the inclement kicking momentum or home field advantage factor is in play here, so his kick arc is short. I don't know if that's just a visual thing or if that actually matters in terms of how far a kicker can kick it, but it is active here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a visual thing. It just makes it harder to aim.
J.D. Gills.
Oh,
nice little seam route there, and he gets the first down. It's not any arc is not going to matter here, as they are now inside of the red zone. Man, if they can get 7 points here, get over the 40 mark, which we said first to 40 would win, I think CT might be able to start celebrating if he can get in the end zone here.
And he's doing what I said, taking care of business. Doing a good job of it.
Antonio Gibson takes the handoff. Not much there. If you're KB, when do you start thinking about timeouts?
You still got a little time, I think, just because I'm one of those that like to take some timeouts before the 2-minute warning. That way you get the 2-minute warning timeout, and just try to have as much time left for when you get the ball back. But I think once you get under 2 minutes, you might start thinking under 3 minutes, you might start thinking about it.
Wide open at the center of the end zone, or back center of the end zone. Terry McLaurin out of the Ohio State University. Yes, I've been waiting to do that all game long. Gets the touchdown for the Commanders. Huge.
He was frozen.
Yeah,
his celebration was freeze.
Yes, that was his celebration indeed. He did the there was maybe it was called the freeze, but there was like a social media trend where people were just freezing just like in the moment. And yeah, what a play by CT. Now, no timeouts had to be expended there by KB. So if he can score quickly, he might actually be able to avoid having to do an onside kick. But at this point, in this second half with all this scoring, I think you almost want to do an onside kick regardless.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to go for it on any 4th down at this point.
For sure.
You can kind of base your offense on that. Yeah, I was correct. 5 touchdowns. But those 2 picks were definitely key there.
Empty formation here in the shotgun for Nick White and the Giants. KB, the user, he drops back to pass, and he's looking. He does have time. That little, oh no, CT does switch there, and he does just freeze his defender, allowing Sterling Shepard to make the catch on the sideline for a big chunk play and a clock stoppage for the Giants.
That's something me and BR were talking about, and it's something other people have talked about. I don't know what it is, but sometimes the Y button does not react when you switch and try to go for a catch. It just doesn't do anything. Like it has been more here recently. It's been worse.
I know it has its haters. Oh, as we see Soto. Oh no. Soto just bullies his right tackle there and forces the intentional grounding. Oh,
Nick White got so scared.
so scared.
Somebody needs to check his pants because I think he crapped in them.
I'm pretty sure he did because, oh my goodness.
He
But
got so scared he just immediately threw the ball out of bounds.
I know it's got the horrible rap and everything, but I think it may be a product of no ball hawk. If I'm being honest, I
And it
think.
could be, but I've heard other people say that play just regular games with ball hawk, like in the chat that I'm talking about, that also sometimes Y doesn't react at all, even with ball hawk. So that probably is part of it, but I think it's something with the game that's going on right now too.
Well, I've always felt that Madden has a very precise interception window, and ball hawk, open that window wider. And when we have it turned off, we have it forced off to where no one can go in and turn it on themselves or anything. That it shrinks that window exponentially. But that's just always been my theory. And maybe it is still just small when it comes to, as we see a field goal go up and good there. 2-minute warning. KB's got an interesting decision on his hands. I think he will kick this deep, which he is going to kick this deep. But yeah, that's my thing. Is just the amount of time you have to press Y.
Yeah, and that's some. But there are times where I have and other people have pressed it at the correct time where you get the timing right, and it just your guy will just like do some weird animation and fall to the side, or just I don't know. It just seems like it's really wonky right now more than ever that I remember. And so sometimes it's not worth risking like switching to the defensive back.
Yeah, and that's a shame too because I know there's guys out there that are really good on the sticks that are feeling discouraged to even switch over to that. But it is what it is.
That's why I hated when they introduced ball hawk. Like I actually didn't like ball hawk. I didn't like switch assist, even though I used some of those things. I just wish that they would have kept it the way it was because it kind of messed up trying to do anything other than that because they just messed with the code.
What a stop there, or excuse me, not a stop, but what a shed of the defender there. It did look like that.
That's going to probably be it.
Yeah,
I don't think he can. I think he can kneel it out now.
He was forced to call a timeout here, so I do think KB may consider calling another if he does make the stop here to prevent. Oh, nope, that's not happening. We do have a ball game here. What a run there! What blocking late by the Commanders there. I was gonna say he probably was looking at a situation where he probably could get the ball back with like inside of 20 seconds left, but Hail Mary situation really. But after that first down, that's not happening anymore. Victory formation for the Commanders. We called it first to 40. We didn't say those exact words, but we were hinting at it throughout the broadcast. First to 40 does it. CT with the win over KB and the Giants. It was a good game for our two first-timers.
Yeah. Man, I guess you technically could have won 39 to 38, but pretty much you had to score 40 points to win since the other team had 38. And that's what it seemed like it was heading to. And CT took care of the ball. I know he had that one fumble in the red zone, another pick. I don't remember if he had one or two. I know he had at least one. But I thought overall he outplayed. He did a good job, outplayed him. And I think the better player won this game.
KB's
this game itself.
Created coach slamming the play sheet down. That's probably how he feels because he did have a couple tilt-worthy results on the field there, especially that Robbie Anderson catch. But great game by the two fellas there. We do see both teams go to 1-3 after this game here. This was the Commanders' first victory, and it was the Giants' third loss. Their first victory was earlier in the season against someone I will not name. But what a game out of these two gents. Thank you, everyone who decided to tune into the broadcast. Thank you again, CT, for the subscription. And as always, to the followers who have been following, thank you so much for that. And until next time, this was the After Works Football League version, this was the After Work Football League and an awful night of football. I have been JFace907. That has been Charter04, and we will see you next time out on the field.